Assembly Bill 52 by Assemblymember Gatto and others, an act relating to Native Americans.
Mr. Gatto, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Assembly Bill 52 clarifies the role that California's Native American tribes would have when there is a development that tries to locate itself near a sacred or historical site. I want everybody on this floor to imagine the site that is most sacred to you. It could be a church, it could be a synagogue, it could be a historical monument. And then you imagine somebody seeking to put something on top of it that you disagree with. It could be a dump, it could be just a high-rise building, it could be anything that you think is not consistent with the dignity of that sacred site. This bill simply clarifies that Native American tribes will have a say in that process, that they will have input as the sovereigns that they are. We have taken a number of amendments at the suggestion of the business community that I think make this bill significantly more palatable to members of the business community, and I ask for your aye vote.
Mr. Chesbro, you're recognized.
Madam Speaker, I rise in support of this bill. It's a very important bill for us in terms of taking small steps to counterbalance the history of the relationship between the dominant culture and the Native Americans who, of course, owned everything in our state and our country before we arrived, before our ancestors arrived. And what they're left with is very little. We have worked hard to build the government-to-government relations, to strengthen the ability of tribes to be economically self-sufficient, but we have not taken sufficient steps to recognize their cultural and religious traditions and their relationship to the land. This bill has been balanced with amendments that were taken to the Natural Resources Committee to lower the anxiety that somehow was going to give tribes veto power. And I think it's a very important measure, and I urge your aye vote.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I, too, rise in strong support of this bill. California is rich with historical and cultural resources that we need to protect. This bill simply puts in place reasonable standards to assess a project's impact on tribal resources during the CEQA process. It helps us protect irreplaceable treasures and sacred sites and prevents costly and cumbersome and often unnecessary legal battles.
Clerk will now open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 48, no 0. Measure passes.